Hi, my name is Andrew Kinney. I'm an attorney. My practice focus area for the last 20 years has been Social Security Disability. This is Social Security 101. The idea with this series of videos is to explain Social Security from the ground up. All the videos are free. Sorry, if you're taking this as a class, there's no credit. Anyway, going back into what we talked about in the last video, medical vocational guidelines, or as it's known as grids by attorneys. Social Security allows for people that are limited in certain physical ways when they're 50 and older to not have the pressure on them to try to learn a totally new career. At that point, they've had their career. So with grids, again, with an example of a construction worker, with grids, if someone is 50 or older and they're limited, let's say, to sit down work, they can't return to their past work. And they find that the skills they have, they can't transfer or use in other work. So what we're going to talk about today are transferable skills. What transferable skills are is the recognition that if you can't physically do your past kind of work, you might be able to do work. Let's say if you're a construction worker, but you did management and project management, you just may be able to use some skills in another kind of work job where you can sit down. So what we have is our grids are recognizing that physically people can't learn new tricks, so to speak, after 50, and that's actually recognized in the marketplace. It's tough to get new jobs or even start a new career after 50. With transferable skills, there's an exception. If there's something that you did where you have skills, a skill set that you can use in another type of skilled job, Social Security will look past the physical limitations you have. So I use an example of construction worker, not necessarily such a good example because the skills they have usually involve being on their feet. But if we had let's say we have someone that's a florist in a shop and they're doing books for the florist shop and they are self-employed and they're doing all the paperwork and all the taxes. Let's say they're even trained as an accountant but they became a florist. Generally, if you're in retail, you're going to be limited. You can be on your feet all the time. If they're over 50 and they have a physical problem, they can't be on their feet. Let's say that they have some issues with a heart problem and they're too tired and they have what's called an ejection fraction, that there's a measure of the difficulty they have. If this florist is limited to sit-down work and they're over 50, the grids would apply. The question in that example is, they may be limited to sit-down work, can't return to the florist retail aspect of the job, but are there skills that they can use in a sedentary job? That's precisely what transferable skills are skills that Social Security recognizes that can go or breach the gap between your physical limitations and should allow you to do some other kind of work. And in that example, if someone did accounting and was trained as an accountant and could do sedentary work, then they would be denied, or at least the grids would not be an application or a method to be approved. Now, I mentioned in the last video that there are exceptions to transferable skills. If someone is limited to unskilled work because of some mental health issue, for example, or let's say it's chronic migraines and they can't concentrate, but one way or the other, if they're limited to unskilled work by definition, if they meet the criteria for the medical vocational guidelines but do not have the transferable skills, then being limited to unskilled work removes this question and allows an approval. If you have any other questions about transferable skills or anything of that nature, you can call the number on our screen. Thank you.